high school, realistically, don't like come at me, is not that difficult. Hey guys, it's Desiree. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is, if you couldn't tell by the title, is some senior tips. So I'm a senior, I'm graduating this year. I've been through all 3.5 years of high school to this point, and with that I've gained a little bit of knowledge on high school and felt I had a couple tips I could share with you guys. So these tips revolve around mostly like schoolwork and studying, because I think those are the most, those are the tips I had come up with recently. What kind of inspired me to make this video. Can I talk? So basically, exam season just kind of happened. I'm starting my first semester, or my second semester. Currently, I'm only about a week in, and so while I was studying, I thought of some tips I could give you guys for studying and high school in general. So first tip I'd like to give you guys revolves around schoolwork and just in general. So this saved me throughout my high school, just in having so much less to carry home than any of my friends. So I always buy one of these folders every year. It's got 2 pockets in it. This one has some stuff for my social justice team, but so it's got 2 pockets, and it's just a nice, I get the nice sticker plasticky ones, so they're more heavy duty. I mean, this one's all scratched up because this one was from last year, but I get this one. I get the ones by Need every year, or 5-star, by both of those, I guess. Anyway, this is the one I get, and the reason this saved me is because this is the only thing that comes home with me except for textbooks. So instead of bringing home a big binder or 2 big binders every day that barely fit in my backpack and make it extremely heavy, I always put in what I need into this binder, because realistically, I either need to bring home worksheets or paper to do my work on. So if I'm in math class and I'm assigned questions X to X, then I take out a couple sheets of lined paper, how many I think I'll need, I put them in here. If I've already started the work, I put that paper in here, and I bring this and my textbook home, and that is all that goes in my backpack, and it saves me so much room in my backpack and so much weight, because I don't have, you know, like I said, my whole binder in there. My binders never leave school. Never leave school except for when they get switched out for the semesters. That is just how I do it. But like I said, it's really helpful to you if you have to study. I just take out all the worksheets that I need to study, I do all my notes in a notebook. So I bring home my notebook, I bring home any worksheets I need to study with, put them in here, and bam, I'm good to go. So there's that. That is my first tip. This other tip, I will tell you, I've never used this tip myself, which is why I know it is such a good tip, because it would have saved me so much time and effort. So this tip is, anytime you have a test in a class, and if you are like me and you write notes or like cue cards for it, write them nicely the first time. Write them, you know, so they're legible, so you could use them again. Then save them. It sounds dumb. I recycle my cue cards every time after I write a test. Every time. I don't know why. I just never kept them. And then when the exam time comes, I have to rewrite every single cue cards, every unit. And that's stupid. Like, that's just dumb. Because I already wrote those cue cards out. Like, first of all, it's a waste of paper for the environment, but second of all, it's a waste of your time. It took me so much longer to study this year because I spent so much time writing cue cards. So, like, my tip is, like, 100%, write them nicely the first time and then keep them. It's going to help you so much. It's going to save you time, paper, like, just effort. It's just, if I had done this, it would have saved me so much time and effort. I can't, like, my other tip is, when you're picking your classes, and like the higher up in the grades you go, pick classes that you may have not thought about taking, or classes that you don't necessarily need for your program. For me, it took me a really long time to decide what I wanted to go into, and I finally obviously decided, but leading up to that, I really wasn't sure. Like, I had a general idea. I knew I wanted to go into a social science, so I took a lot of social science courses, but social science is very broad, and I ended up taking courses that I don't need, and I didn't really realistically need, and I didn't have to take, but I took just because I needed a course or because they sounded interesting, and I very much enjoyed them. Take what you have to take to get in, and then with your electives, take something that you might be interested in. So like for me, I took Native Studies. It was a really interesting course to take. I really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot of knowledge on Indigenous people that I didn't know, and it was really, really interesting and a good course. Do I need it? No. Was it mandatory or necessary that I take the course? Not at all. Gained knowledge I know I'm going to take with me later on in life, and I think that's really important. Ultimately, you need to take what is going to help you, but I would definitely give yourself some leeway to try out different things and really see what you may be interested in, because I think a lot of the times also you may discover that you like something you didn't know you liked. Oh, here's a big tip. Actually, this is something I really resonated this year. And just a small disclaimer to this tip. I am not saying skip class. I am not saying stay home from school all the time. None of those things. Absolutely. Do not take that away from what I'm about to say. I am a relatively good student. I have good grades. I don't really do homework. Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm not a model student. I've failed a class. I've procrastinated a class so long that I had to do it in 4 days. That's another story. I don't really achieve to be the best, or aspire to be the best student. I'm just a mediocre student. Realistically, I do what I have to do. I get good grades, but I put in minimal effort, okay? That's just me. I'm not saying that's not my tip. Please don't go home and think that you should just be the minimal amount of effort a student can be. You do you. I have lots of friends who are super dedicated to do schoolwork. I'm super dedicated to my social life. It's a personal preference, and it's important to figure out where you stand. But it is also important to make sure you're getting your credits and getting your grades through. You don't have to be some super high achieving student to be the best student. Like I said, I'm not. I've definitely made mistakes in the past. I definitely don't do everything to my ability to be the best student I can be, but I'm still a good student. I still get my good grades. Everything is very personal to you. First of all, realize that. Don't compare yourself to your friends. Don't compare yourself to your friends' grades. Whatever. Decide what your goal is ultimately. If you want to have honors all 4 years, that's awesome. Go for it. That's your choice. Decide that first of all. Anyway, my tip is I'm pretty average student. I'm not high 90s, but I don't really usually go below a 70. So there's that. That's where I stand as a student. This year especially, I've had this terrible thing called senioritis. I really thought it was stupid. It is so real. But I missed so many days this year compared to any other year of my high school career. And I'm not saying get to grade 12 and miss school, but I will say it is so much easier for me to miss class or leave class and not hear it from my parents, my teachers, the school, because I don't promote anything I do. Do as I say, not as I do. That's kind of the type of person I am. I was late to class pretty much every single day. This first semester, first period, I was late to school every day. I was late every day. It happens, whatever. I did not get detention once. I did not get a note home. My teacher called my mom once, and my mom was just kind of I know. And my teacher was like, Desiree's a great student. She's awesome, great grades. That's why I haven't said anything. I haven't given her any detention for it, because she's a good student. I was late every single day. No detention, no notes, no nothing, because I'm a good student, and she knows that despite the fact that I'm late every day, I get the work done, I have a good grade in her class, I pay attention, I behave, and so nothing happened, no reprimands, I don't know what it's called, whatever. Nothing happened. Nothing came out of it. And I'm not saying, oh, if you're a good student, you can get away with whatever you want. I'm just saying it really pays off in like small things like that. And again, I am not promoting any of this. I'm just saying it really does pay off to put in the work and to be a good student. I just think my ability to continue to be involved in my school and dedicated to my schoolwork has given me a lot of leeway when it comes to being a student. Anyway, those are my 4 biggest tips, I think, as a senior for what you should do this year. I can't give you too many tips because, like I said, realistically, I'm not the best student. I'm not super academically inclined. I'm just kind of average with those. I think if you want to have like a good high school thing in regards to your grades are my best tips. Hopefully those help you guys. Try them out. I suggest. Otherwise, that is all I have for today. I will see you all next week. Peace out.